Bill O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News for Tuesday, July 9th, 2024. Stand up for your country. Well, last night, again, the New York Times, which is allied with the Democratic Party. You have to go back 70 years to find a Republican presidential contender that the New York Times endorsed. So they have an alliance with the Democrats. And once again, they have asked Joe Biden to leave the race. That's a pretty powerful situation for the left when the most important liberal newspaper turns on a president. So that would only happen with the permission is probably too strong a word, but with the agreement of Barack Obama, who is the most powerful person within the Democratic Party today. He holds an amazing amount of power behind the scenes. He is not a man who flaunts that power publicly. He doesn't do daily puppet pulling, string pulling. Like I get letters like, Obama's running the country. No, he's not. Okay. However, if he wants to get something done in Democratic circles, it'll get done. And he doesn't want Joe Biden to run because Barack Obama and other chieftains inside the Democratic Party know that Biden will probably lose, and they'll lose Congress as well, the Democrats. So they want a new candidate. And that's the signal that was once again sent today. Now, in D.C., the NATO meetings begin, and it is hot there. There's going to be a bunch of parties, and this is the 75th anniversary of NATO. I'll tell you more about that later. But the most important thing here is that President Biden is supposed to hold a solo press conference on Thursday after the NATO people depart. It's supposed to be in the early evening. I don't know here, because if Biden does not get through that press conference, it's not going to be about NATO. It's going to be about him. He's got to resign by the weekend. I mean, this is it. And the press is going to be showing their fangs on Biden. It's not going to be some easy deal anymore. So that's what's happening. And the Talking Points memo is putting politics above your country. So here's what the New York Times wrote, quote, "The 2024 presidential election is not a contest between two men or even between two political parties. It's a battle for who we are as a nation. President Biden clearly understands the stakes, but he seems to have lost track of his own role in this national drama. As the situation becomes more dire, he has come to regard himself as indispensable. He does not seem to understand that he is now the problem. And the best hope for Democrats to retain the White House is for him to step aside." Well, it doesn't get more clear than that. The power brokers within the Democratic Party once again want Joe out. Okay? So, there are some people still in Biden's orbit, but they're always hedging a little bit. Roll the tape.
I'm going to support him. I stand with Joe Biden as being our next president, with Kamala Harris standing right next to him as our vice president.
The president has always had our backs. We're going to have his back as well, because the results that we've been able to see under this administration have been undeniable in all of our individual states.
I think Joe Biden, two things, is the strongest, most accomplished president we've had in my lifetime.
Not the question.
That he's been counted out over and over and over.
Well, that's just delusional, with all due respect to Senator Coons, a Delawarean. That's just delusional that he's the best president in your lifetime. I mean, it's absurd. And let me back that up with some facts. All right? Since President Biden has been in office, there have been more than 8 million encounters, that's what they call migrants, interacting with Homeland Security. Okay, more than 8 million. That does not include gotaways or visa overstays. So the total is more than 11 million foreign nationals sieging the United States. Okay? And by the end of his term, that'll probably be 12 million, maybe more. This has cost us about $500 billion, the American taxpayer, to deal with this open border stuff. Now, you see above that Trump, in his 4 years, had 2.5 million encounters, as opposed to probably 10 million encounters for Biden. That's what the open border does. The average family, this is a very important stat, in Trump's last year in office, paid $6,500 in monthly expenses. All right? Now that number has risen to about 9,000. Probably more, because we don't have the 23 stats in. So from 6,500 family of four, now I'm gonna call it 9,500 family of four. $3,000 coming out of your wallet since Biden has been elected, and it's going to go higher because the stats lag. All right? This is a catastrophe for working people because their salaries have not kept pace. And they're paying more and more and more and more. And that doesn't count highest prices ever for homes, highest priced ever for car insurance and house insurance, and on and on and on and on. Working places. I saw Bernie Sanders on CNN. Oh, working people under Biden. You're just, again, I'm not going to call Senator Sanders a liar because he may not be smart enough to understand how the working American is getting killed under Biden. Really, Sanders may not be smart enough to understand that. With the bilges, B-I-L-G-Es, he puts out there. Okay, the spending on Ukraine, which would not have happened if Trump had been president, in my opinion, is now $200 billion. That's another thing, $200 billion out. You add to that to the $500 billion to deal with the foreign nationals, and abortions. Under Trump, 2.5 million in 4 years. Under Biden, 3 million, 2.9 in 3.5 years, going to hit more than 4 million. Okay, one more stat here that's important. So when you have an open border, you have drug ODs. And 3 years under Trump, we had 200,000 drug ODs approximately. 3 years under Biden, 326,000. Now that shows you that the open border leads to death, the death of Americans, because the narcotics come in, flood in, because the border is easily accessible to the drug cartels in Mexico. And then you have these people going out and telling you, speaking to the American public on television, I know Biden's great. He's the greatest president of my lifetime. Now, when you hear that, you should file it in your mind. Who is saying that? So this is offensive to me. I mean, if you're not smart enough to understand what a bad president Joe Biden has been, you shouldn't vote at all. I pity you. All right, so NATO's underway, and that's what Biden will be doing this week. No fundraising for Joe. Okay, and I'll get to the fundraising in a moment. It's very important. Solo press conference. Now, we will not be on the air to monitor that press conference on Thursday, but I will watch every second of it, and I will tweet during it at Bill O'Reilly, at Bill O'Reilly. Then I will write a Friday message on BillO'Reilly.com on it and a column on Sunday on it. So we will have that coverage for you. But our tape schedule is we have to meet our distributors all around the world. So we can't go live, as they say, because we've got to send this stuff out. All right, here's a very interesting story. So everybody knows, everybody who is thinking clearly and who's honest, that Joe Biden is mentally diminished. Why? We don't know why. We don't know exactly what the diagnosis is. So now we learn that a doctor who specializes in Parkinson's disease made 10 White House visits. His name is Dr. Kevin Cannard, C-A-N-N-A-R-D. All right, he's out of Maryland, And he's at the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, and he goes over 10 times. New York Post broke the story, then the New York Times followed up on it. Okay, so why is he in the White House 10 times? Well, Karine Jean-Pierre didn't want to tell anybody. Go.
We cannot share names of specialists broadly, from a dermatologist to a neurologist. We cannot share names. There are security reasons. We have to protect. I understand that. I hear you.
Right there for anyone to see.
Ed, I hear you. I cannot from here confirm any of that because we have to keep their privacy. I think they would appreciate that too. We have to give them. We have to keep their privacy.
That's not true. That's an outright lie. Because the doctor has to sign in to the White House. Okay? His name has to be on people who visit. That's how the New York Post got the story. Okay, that's not privacy. Anybody going to the White House knows when you go in there, it's public. It's the people's house, not private property. So Karine Jean-Pierre isn't smart enough to know that. So maybe lie is overstating it because she, like Bernie Sanders, they just don't know. And they don't want to know. Okay, it's not like she wants to know. That was her excuse given to her by the White House communications. Well, the uproar was so intense that the White House would say, yeah, he did show up, but it was just routine. Routine 10 times. So you see what's happening here. This whole apparatus protecting Joe Biden is falling apart. And how anybody could believe anything the White House says from now on is just incredible. But people believe what they want to believe. Okay, so now we advance the story, right? Kamala Harris will replace Joe Biden on the ticket. That is my prediction. And I wrote a column. I hope you read it on BillO'Reilly.com. It is free. Kamala for president. The reason she will replace Biden is, number one, Biden can't stand up to the scrutiny. And again, if he screws up on Thursday in a press conference, he's out the next day or the next couple of days. Any mistake he makes from now on is amplified 10 million%. Why will Kamala get it? Because the only way the $200 million that Biden has raised for the race, the only person who can get that is the vice president, because they're considered a team. It's the Biden-Harris ticket, and this is under campaign finance law. She can get the 200 mil. So Gavin Newsom, he can't get anything. He's going to come in and raise $500 million. He can't. It's impossible. So the Democrats know there's nobody who can come in at the convention, open convention, and raise the money to compete against Trump, except Kamala Harris, and it will be her. Because if they were insane enough to go against her, then the African Americans vote. That would be not good for them. And I'm going to have more on this tomorrow. But my prediction is Joe Biden will not run. Kamala Harris will against Trump. So Michael Moore, you know him. He's a gadfly, a socialist Democrat, doesn't like any capitalists or any Republicans or anybody like that. Here's what he says. Go.
But if I have to be the only one to stand for Joe Biden, that's right, that's me. You heard me say that. If I have to be the only one to stand up for Joe Biden here to protect him from the cruelest form of elder abuse I've ever been forced to watch, well, then that's what I'll do. He was in epic distress that Thursday night. Every cognitive default in his mind seemed to be shutting down. If this had been somebody that you truly cared about, loved, embraced, what would you have done?
Okay, so he doesn't mention more Jill Biden, who is doing it. Joe Biden could go to her husband now and say, look, Joe, it's over. For your health, we're going to get you out of here. You don't deserve to be pounded like this. No human being can take that kind of stuff. So let's depart with grace. She could do that, but she didn't want to do it, as I described on News Nation last night. Go. Joe Biden does everything his wife tells him to do, and we all know husbands like that. But this one, I didn't think that she was going to put her husband in this kind of danger. And let me just, one more, because I know you got to run. Can you imagine the stress that Joe Biden is under as a human being right now? Every word, every slip, everything he does is on page one. He screws up anyway. All right? Boom, boom. Every hour of every day, somebody is saying bad things about Joe Biden. There's only so much a human being can take. And Jill Biden is putting her husband in that kill zone. And that is the truth. So there you go. Now, as we mentioned, the New York Times and other liberal news organizations, and we named them yesterday, are turning on Biden. They want him out. The situation is, I don't know one liberal newspaper, not one, that is saying, hey, Joe, stay. If you do know one in your town, please let me know. Bill@BillO'Reilly.com, Bill@BillO'Reilly.com. Hey, folks, you're not going to like this. Think you're prepared? Well, research shows that millennials and Gen Z are more prepared for a possible disaster than any other generation, from their savings to their emergency stockpiles. If you are not already preparing, get started with My Patriot Supply. Since 2008, My Patriot Supply has helped millions of Americans gear up for possible emergencies. Today, their popular 4-week emergency food kits can't stay on the shelves. They're flying out of here. So get yours right now at my website, preparelikebill.com. Each kit offers more than 2,000 calories every day, lasts up to 25 years in storage. Order as many as you think you need, save $50 on each one, free shipping included. If the younger American sense a need to prepare, it could be coming soon. Stock up on these essential food kits at preparelikebill.com. Preparelikebill.com. All right, let's go to the mail. Jillian, I just read President Biden's letter to the congressional Democrats declining to drop out of the race. What now? What can they do if he will not leave? They can't do anything. But I don't think that's going to happen. The pressure is going to be unbearable. I could be wrong on this, but I told you something big was going to happen. Something big did happen. The debate. Now I think he's done. Lee, concierge member, Bill, unless Jill Biden, the Biden family, decide Joe needs to go, nothing will happen. All the rest of the discussion is folderol. What a great word. Folderol, meaning nonsensical. Falderal. Way to go, Lee. Folderol. I had to look it up, which I did. Andrew, Nikki Haley is a uniparty-controlled opposition globalist. She would betray Donald Trump at the first opportunity if he chose her as VP. Maybe. I'm just telling you that she'd be the strongest vote getter in that category. Paul Butko, Sarasota, Florida. Who is to be greatly feared as America's number one enemy? Not China, not Russia, not all the migrants entering the country. It's the corporate media, those who lie and deceive. You look, they're at the top of the list, Paul. They've hurt our country dramatically, which is why I'm not in the corporate media any longer. Joe Poland, Andover, Connecticut, as a follow-up to my earlier email about Kamala's VP possible pick. Is it possible she would pick Letitia James, Governor Hochul, Governor Newsom, or Michelle Obama? No, none of those are going to be on the ticket with Kamala. I don't know who would be, but she's got to go a little bit center, I think, in the Democratic center, a little bit. This is James Fleming, Brisbane, Australia. I'm an American living here. I watch your segment every week. Gives me clarity about the political landscape in America, always concise and constructive. James, you should watch this every night, not every week. Okay? So we have stuff, particularly now, breaking like crazy. Kathleen Kelleher, Las Vegas. I've read almost all the Killing books, just finished The Witches. I really appreciate you include on the same page all of your footnotes. Kathleen, that's a very astute observation. So most authors bleed the footnotes from one page to another, making it really difficult for the reader. Not us. Footnote is on the same page, so it's easy for you to see it. Okay. Cup of No Joe, huh? This is just a phenomenon. This is our latest mug. A cup of No Joe. We sold out in one day. We've ordered, okay? We have them. They're coming. Put that up there again. Cup of No Joe. Now, this is a collector's item for the campaign of 24. And what I have is a collection of mugs. So throw up the Not Woke mug. So I got the Cup of No Joe. Then I got the Not Woke mug. Then I have Stand Up for Your Country mug. All right. Then I have Team Normal. I have them all in a row. It's a great presentation. And they're fun. This is a fun hobby. So Cup of No Joe mug, Not Woke mug, you know. Now I get them free, I know, but you know, they're not that expensive. They'll last you the rest of your life. What else we got? Confronting the Presidents, out 2 months from tomorrow. You want to pre-order it on BillO'Reilly.com. Get it first if you do. And word of the day is don't be jejune. Jejune. Great word. Don't be jejune. When writing me, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com. Bill at BillO'Reilly.com. Back with some very good news in a moment. Wall Street tells us to put our money in an IRA or 401k. They think risking your life savings in the Wall Street casino is a secure investment for our future. Did you know the average American who follows that advice might outlive their savings by 10 years? With Bank on Yourself, grow and protect your hard-earned money. This retirement alternative has never had a loss in more than 160 years. Do you want predictable annual growth, control of your money, and tax-free retirement income? Then go to bankonyourself.com/nospin, and they will send you a free report with the retirement plan that big banks and Wall Street are desperately hoping you never hear about. Again, go to bankonyourself.com/nospin for your free report. By now, you have heard me talk about Delta Rescue. They are a fantastic organization that helps rescue animals from the wilderness. You know, I'm a dog lover, so is Leo Grillo, the founder of Delta Rescue. It is his life's mission to provide everlasting care for these once abandoned animals. I myself have donated to Delta Rescue. Do you believe it is part of man's duty to care for dogs and horses, the animals that so much of our history is tied to? If so, please consider making a donation or consult your advisor about leaving a gift in your will or trust. There can be some tax advantages, and it's a great way to help Delta Rescue accomplish their mission. So please visit deltarescue.org to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. So here is the final thought of the day. You know, when I departed Fox News April 2017, we had just come off a record ratings quarter. Okay, highest ratings ever for cable, according to Nielsen ratings people. Okay, so my goal was to carry that momentum, that no spin concept, to alternative media to compete with the corporate media. And I took some people from Fox News with me. I had a good base in which to launch our independent news agency. But I knew it was going to be a crusher. I learned so much. But now, Joe Biden, thank you, President Biden. Because of him, we are way, way up competing with the corporate media. Let me give you some stats. So the debate, after the debate, we had more than 3 million viewers on YouTube alone. That's par with what the cables do, okay? I should say with what Fox News does. MSNBC and CNN never see 3 million, ever. Also, we are on the First TV, we're on Direct TV, and our distributors are all over the world, so that's hundreds of thousands of more. Also, when I tweet, tens of millions of people read the tweets about what we're doing, about our news coverage. So you add it all up, and this is a colossal audience worldwide watching us. And the beauty of it is you don't have to watch in live time. So if you're a premium concierge member, you watch anytime you want. Okay, and you get a transcript if you want it. Free. And so you can be informed, and sometimes you're doing stuff and you're not home or whatever it may be. That's the key to this. But the real key is we present the news in an honest way. We don't suppress. We don't distort. We don't spin. We don't do any of that. And you know it. I've been doing this a long time. And I would never have been as successful if I was being deceitful. The reason that NBC News and CNN and the others are declining is because they are deceitful on occasion. Not all the time, but on occasion, they're deceitful. We are never deceitful here. So you can count on us. I know a lot of you don't like some of the things I say. That's fine. I'm not looking for agreement. I don't want the choir. I want everybody, not just the choir. So this is great news. And I got to thank my staff, too, because we work damn hard. I mean, we don't have an army of people. We have good people, but they work hard. And it's all paying off now, especially at this time when America could go either way. You know, the cliff is right there. And we always back up our commentary with facts, as we did this evening. And I hope you enjoy it and appreciate it. Thank you for watching us tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.